And welcome back to another One
Welcome
Piece
back.
discussion. This
This
time,
is
Zoe,
Zoe.
which,
Again, this is about 10 minutes after we just finished the last part of Dressrosa. Current as of recording.
yeah.
So we are just
So
jumping right back
we're
into
jumping
it.
right back in. We're gonna mostly go through the plot as it goes, and then at the end we're gonna talk theory because I've got some theory to talk.
Yep.
I guess general thoughts on Zoe. I quite liked this arc. It's a very small little snippet of time, which is
Mhm.
nice. As a sort of reprieve from something as long as Dressrosa. Uh, and as long as the things that are ahead from what I'm aware
Right.
of. Um, I especially like the setting of this arc. This is one of my favorite
Oh, it's
places
so
we've been
cool.
to. I think Zoe is a really cool place. I'll get into that more when it's revealed what Zoe is. And I think it's been since maybe Jaya that an arc has had me this excited about the future of reading One Piece
Yeah. It's,
because
it's a very
there's
it's a very dense, like almost lore dump
yeah, and
of an
it's
arc.
not quite as dense as something like Jaya, but it's in this same position where I'm just starting to have threads, and now there's way more things to pull and grab at again, and I'm so
Yeah.
excited about it. Um,
Uh-huh.
this arc doesn't even really end on a cliffhanger. It ends like halfway through a thing going on, and then I just have to wait,
Yeah.
which is almost worse than a cliffhanger.
Mhm.
So let's just jump right into it.
Yep.
Um, we start out with Barto's crew being I don't know how they made it.
Dude,
How are
just
these guys
by
alive?
through the process and power of loving Mr. Luffy,
Average East
they
Blue
have
pirate, you know?
they have made it to the new world.
Yeah, through pure love for Mr. Luffy.
Um,
Uh,
their navigator, they don't have a
they don't
navigator.
have one.
One of the crew members calls
Calls
their
his
grandma
grandma
and gives them not relevant advice.
advice. Oh, if it's hailing, you can get the gum off the ship. It's truly incredible. And then
That's
Borsalino shows
great.
up, still an admiral, which I think
Still
I
an
had
admiral.
I had assumed he would still be an admiral. I think that was also shown with Doflamingo's speech. They showed
Yeah,
Kuzan.
yeah,
They did not show the third admiral though. He was had his back turned, or they had their back turned.
yeah.
So who knows who they are? And we learn about the seventh warlord,
The
and I
seventh
was
warlord.
right about this. I called
He was
this.
right. He did
I
call it.
gold
In the
star
live
in the
reads, he
library,
was
and
saying
I went back. I
he.
looked in discussion one. I also said this.
Oh,
I don't
did
know if I
you?
said Whitebeard, but I said that it was a person that is related to somebody we know, and their name would be a spoiler because we would go, "Oh, that's related to an important character,"
Yeah. In
and
the
that
in
is
the live
exactly
read,
what this
like
was.
literally, he's talking about these theories like
Yeah, I did
because we had to do the schedule
my
stuff.
last minute theory that I had from the end of Dressrosa was like, well, maybe they're related to Whitebeard, and then
Specifically Whitebeard, and then
I
like 3 pages
years
later,
later, why there's Whitebeard's son,
quote unquote, at least self-proclaimed son. It is
Ed,
ambiguous.
Edward Weevil,
Edward
Whitebeard
Weevil,
Jr. Can I
and
just say I hate this
I
guy.
hate this guy.
This guy is insufferable. I do not like him at all.
I don't
Um,
like him. I don't like his bit.
I don't
I don't like his
I
mom.
don't think it's funny that he's stupid and speaks in this I'm a dumb guy tone. I don't like that.
Yeah.
His design is horrific. I don't like. I actually I kind of like that his mom is just a obvious swindler. It's kind of funny, but
Yeah.
I don't know. This guy drives me insane. I don't like that he is using Whitebeard's name, um,
Right.
or that she's making him use Whitebeard's name for this gain because Whitebeard was him. I don't like
Right.
that he's hunting down Whitebeard's crew because that's not what a son of Whitebeard should be doing. He should not be hunting down other sons of Whitebeard.
Mm-hmm.
But also, doesn't he have where did they say former bounty 480 million berries, not for doing anything, just for being really strong and killing people.
Yeah.
He has a bounty almost as big as Luffy's
As
current bounty,
Luffy is now. It's so
which
like
is
he's yoked.
he's strong, very strong,
Mm-hmm.
presumably, to get a bounty that high for doing, as far as we're aware, literally nothing.
Straight up nothing.
And I believe he's after Black. He wants to kill Blackbeard, but Mama says no, you can't kill Blackbeard. Vengeance not in fashion. We need to kill all of Whitebeard's sons instead.
Mm-hmm. Because she assumes that he has some sort of like great treasure.
Yeah.
when we know that he doesn't.
We know that he doesn't. We know that he actively chose not to because his treasure was his family.
Uh-huh.
Um, we get more Mr. Luffy, and then it is revealed that Zoe is a giant walking elephant,
Yeah.
which
Which is
is
so
so fucking
sick.
awesome. I mean, I am a big fan. I make this no secret. A big fan of the Xenoblade series, and the Xenoblade series
Mhm.
is one to do giant living things as like something you're living on.
With
Like in the first
with
game with the
cities
Bionis
on.
and the Mykonos, which are these giant titans that are dead now, but they were alive at one point that people live on. And then in
Mhm.
Xenoblade 2, which is almost exactly this, is titans, which are just big animals swimming around or walking around in the all rest the sea of clouds is like
Mhm.
the exact same thing as this elephant, and it's so
Yeah.
cool seeing it in One Piece as well.
It's really sick.
It's really really cool, uh, and makes me wonder. I mean, this is sort of brought up later in the arc of like, what is the origins of this elephant? It's existed for
Right?
a millennium, which is another as a question that also sort of gets raised in Xenoblade is like, what is the nature of these giant things we're living on? Like, how did these things come to be? Why do they even exist?
Yeah.
And a similar
This one
question gets
also
brought up with Zoe
this
or
one
with
also apparently
Zanisha.
committed a crime.
A crime
Whatever
so
the fuck
bad,
that means.
he's been punished to walk
Probably
for a millennia.
probably fucking jaywalking.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of that now. You thought Sisyphus was bad. I mean, I've got thoughts on Zoe. I'll come back to the elephant later, but this
Uh-huh.
thing's been alive for a millennium,
Yeah.
which is
It's
crazy.
crazy.
Very crazy.
Uh,
We find the Thousand Sunny, and this is actually something I wanted to bring up that I've been thinking about, and
uh-huh.
something that I think has been bothering me a little bit with the story.
Mhm.
And I realize that it's been bothering me since like Thriller Bark, maybe
Yeah.
even, is
Uh-huh.
that compared to the Going Merry, the Thousand Sunny has not really felt like a part of the crew at any point.
Yeah,
And maybe
I
that's
get
just
that.
me, but I feel like the Sunny has been sort of a background element ever since we got it, and it was such a triumphant moment of getting to it.
Mhm.
And the most we've had of it was in Thriller Bark and like early parts of Sabaody.
Yeah.
And then we used it to get down to Fishman Island, but then we didn't really do
Mhm.
anything with it then, and it wasn't really part of Punk Hazard, and then it wasn't even with us at Dressrosa for a while,
Right.
especially
Yeah.
with like Frankie being so tied to it and so much of Frankie's new power set being tied to stuff that's stored in the Sunny. I just want the Sunny to be more involved, I feel like is my
Yeah.
thoughts.
I think
Um,
that's fair.
I don't know, because I feel like even, I don't know, every step of the way that Mary felt involved
Mhm.
with before we lost the Mary, and I don't feel like that the Sunny. I mean, there's even a whole the like last saga of pre time skip. The Sunny's not even there.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. I would like the Sunny to be more involved. I hope that it gets to be more involved later.
Mhm.
Um, that's really my
Yeah.
thoughts on seeing the
I
Sunny
agree.
again.
I think
I would like to see more from the Sunny because I like the
uh-huh.
Sunny, but I want to love the Sunny like I loved the Mary, but the story has not been doing a lot to get me there,
Right.
which I think is a
And
shame.
maybe that is intentional to be like, yeah,
Like
this is
nothing
it's
nothing could replace the Mary maybe, but I don't
yeah,
know.
something like that. But I mean, I don't know. I would still like for the Sunny to have
We spent 2 years just to come back to the Sunny. The Sunny waited for us all those 2 years, you know?
mhm.
And like, I
Yeah.
don't know, if the Mary had waited 2 years for us, I would have been crying about it. So like the fact that the Sunny waiting for 2 years doesn't make me super emotional, I feel like is a little odd
Yeah.
for Oda, who is so good at writing emotion into every little piece of the story.
Mhm.
Um, and then we have more important than the Sunny,
My
Ryunosuke,
goat,
my
you
goat,
know,
my goat, my goat.
this this poor
This poor thing. This poor
poor
creature.
creature.
This poor creature. The first thing that somebody says about this thing is, wow, I feel really sorry for this creature. And then Robin thinks it's cute, which I think is
It's a
so funny.
yeah,
I
the
love
bit of Robin loving this creature.
I love the continued trend that on the surface Robin is this sort of like tough femme fatale character, but also she's like one of the silly ones.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like she doesn't show it, but she's with Brooke. She's a silly one, but she doesn't
Yeah.
let it show, which I think is really
Well,
funny.
at times all of the characters are silly ones, which I
Yeah,
think is why the Straw Hats work so well together. Is that
exactly. They're silly.
there is no comic relief character because they
Sure,
all can be the comic relief
they can all be the
at
comic relief.
different points.
But I like that that Robin gets to be comic relief for us, the audience, but not for the crew.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like to the crew, Robin is like stoic,
Hmm.
calm, collected,
Stone
cool.
cold.
And then for us, we get to see her thought bubbles where she's like got cartoon cats,
Yeah.
like back in Thriller Bark, which is just so
Hmm.
funny. And
It's
I love
great.
the during this whole section of this poor creature Ryunosuke, who I love so dearly. There's constant cuts back to Robin just being like, he's so cute.
He's so cute. It's
We get a little bit,
this bit is really good in the anime too of Robin's just like cutaways.
yeah. We get some more of the Blackbeard Pirates. I don't have
Yeah.
much to say about them. Most of what I had to say about them I said last time.
Hmm.
Uh, I think it's interesting. I don't know. They're interesting. They
Hmm.
continue to compel me. I like that his
Yeah.
ships are still big dumb log ships, even though they're real
Yeah.
ships now. I think that's cute.
It's great.
And I wonder
Um.
why did presumably Sabo brought Burgess back to Baltica
It no. Burgess was trying to like Burgess got fucked up by Sabo and then stowed away
on
on a
Sabo's
ship
ship. Okay,
that happened to
to
be
be Sabo and the Revolutionaries. Okay, I
yeah.
misunderstood. I thought that Sabo like brought him back as like a trophy or like to interrogate him or something.
No.
I was sort of misunderstanding. Buggy the Clown! Who cares about Burgess?
Let's shut up about Burgess. It's fucking
Shut
Buggy,
up, it's Buggy the
the
Genius
genius
Jester.
jester. I
I just
love. I'm so happy to see Buggy. I love
I
his
love
new
I love his new
the.
look. I love his really long hair. I love that he's using his chop powers to make himself seem big. I think that's hilarious.
Hmm. It's great.
I love that he's still
Um.
got a big carnival.
Yeah, he's running like a pirate temp
Yeah,
agency.
pirate temp agency.
Um, which
I
is
also
great.
love this moment of like them telling Buggy that their giants are leaving them, and they're like,
Hmm.
"But we probably shouldn't tell you why." And he's like, "Tell me," and we're like,
Tell me.
"You don't want to
He's
know."
he's not gonna be
He's not
happy.
gonna be happy when he finds out it's Straw Hat Luffy.
Hmm.
Then we get some more stuff. Oh, we get some just them climbing. We get the monkey who at first I thought was gonna be a relevant character, and then he just isn't.
No,
Um,
they he's a little bit more does a little bit more in the anime, but in the manga he's basically
I
a nothing
like
character.
that he says ape apologies. I think that's funny.
Hmm.
I don't know. I have no understanding. At first I thought this was Raizo. Is that like? Are you supposed to think that?
I don't know.
Because I thought that they said, I don't know. I thought for a second I thought this was Raizo because they say indeed te is the sound Raizo makes as he runs, as this guy's like falling. Anyway, the samurais fall,
Yeah.
which ends up playing out very interestingly. But we
Hmm.
this moment Usopp tells the dragon to turn back, and the whole crew's like, that's cruel, Usopp. We can't tell him to do that. So we make it to
Robin's
the
like you
top.
could. Robin, there's a little panel of Robin saying you can do it.
You can do it, yeah. And then we make it up to the top. Everybody's leaving, and Robin, tears in her eyes, says, "You'll turn back into a drawing now." And then
And
he
then
fades away,
Ryunosuke
turns back
fades
into a
back.
drawing. Just a
Oh,
hilarious moment. I
it's
love that.
what a great bit.
I love that Law and Zoro are fed up with it. I love that
Like, what are
Robin
you
leaves him
guys
a
talking
grave.
about? Yeah.
It's just so funny. And then we get to Zoe, which is this super cool setting.
Hmm.
Um, sort of a at least the city seems to remind me a little bit of uh South America,
Vangua?
like early South America
Oh,
a little bit. Kind of reminds me of Shandora as well,
yeah.
which I think is interesting. But I suppose if it's a millennia old, so was Shandora, wasn't it? So,
Mm-hmm.
and then we sort of just we get in. Luffy immediately, being Luffy, takes off.
Mm-hmm.
We get our introduction to some of the minks, uh,
Yeah.
who are wearing our crew's clothes,
Yep.
and then talk about you need to go find your crew's corpse, which
I thought you were gonna catch that one. Honest, I was like,
I It's the fact that she's wearing Nami's clothes is like, did they kill Nami? Is like this moment, and like obviously it's Brook. I think I mentioned in the live read, like they could be saying Brook, but why would they call him a corpse? He's a skeleton. I suppose I
This
was
is great.
having the moment of like the, what do you call this? A cadaver, a skeleton kind of moment.
Right, yeah.
But we get this like introduction of like, oh, the minks are like really, they're like superhuman people.
Yeah, they're super fucking strong.
They're super strong. Carrot has hops.
Hmm.
Carrot, why are you on Zoe? The Lakers need you. um, I don't know. Carrot has done very little. I like her a lot. I don't know.
I love Carrot. I
I
think
like Carrot.
Carrot's super cute. I
Carrot is
love her
cute.
design.
I am excited to add her to my short list of people who could be the 10th crew member.
Yeah.
Um, with Kobe. I think she's
Hmm.
cool. I get this, like, I don't know, the way she is in this whole section, you just feel like Oda knows that she's gonna be important, and so
Right,
she's
yeah.
not gonna be important yet, but she's making sure that we know that she's important, which I
Hmm.
think is fun. Luffy starts clashing with these people. I don't know. I could sort of move through a little bit here. I like the Minks. The Minks are fun. I like their
Yeah.
introduction. Um, Also, I want to point this out because I caught this, but I didn't write it in my notes.
Oh.
Um, what is her name? What is the dog Minx's name? The main one? Wanda.
It's
Wanda.
yeah, Wanda.
Wanda. She says, "Be grateful that it was not a moonlit night." What's up with that, huh?
Yeah.
And
I
then
don't know.
later during the flashback, or it's either during the flashback or some other moment. There's a bunch of fog and cloud in front of the moon, and they're like, "Well, it's a good thing that's blocking the full moon." Are they
Yeah.
werewolves?
What?
Are they? Or I mean, I guess they're already animals.
They're already under a full moon. Do they turn into people?
Do they turn into people? Are they reverse lycanthropes? What is up with that? I caught it. I don't have any theories other than are they werewolves, but I wanted to
Uh
mention that
huh.
I noticed it.
Okay.
Small moment. I like this moment of Robin just like examining the area and picking things up and noticing things because she's an
Yeah,
archaeologist. I
being
think
an
it's cool.
archaeologist.
It's cool to see her actually get to do archaeology, even if it's for like 2 pages.
Hmm.
Yeah. To your Tia friends, go see your Tia corpse. Which
Hmm.
retroactively is funny because it means that they avoided Brook and he was just waiting for them to show up the whole time. Like Brook was supposed to greet them and they just went around him.
They just didn't.
We get introduced to more of like the sort of the environment of Zoe, which is just really cool. I don't know,
Yeah,
it's a cool
it's
location.
like it's not a whole lot to talk
Not a
about,
whole
but
lot to
like
talk about in this early part.
it's
Just
just
like
really
it's
sick.
just a really cool area of like them having these floods because there's
Because
like
Zuneka like
it
floods
cleans
its
itself.
back.
Yeah, floods its back and cleans itself. And Nami and
And
Chopper are
that's
here.
where they get like fish from when he sucks them up.
Yeah, they get
It
fish from when so they don't have to
it,
go
fe-
like
it feels like Oda really took time to like
really took time to
think
think
about
about how people would
how
live
would a
on this animal, and I
society
think
on
it's
the
really
back
cool.
of an elephant
Live, and it's
survive.
awesome because
Yeah.
it's such a cool environment. It kind of
Mhm.
remedies my comment back from Fishman Island where I feel like he didn't explore the environment enough, but he really
Mhm.
explores what it means for there to be a place like Zoe, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
And then Chopper and Robin are back, and it's so great to see them because I have
Yeah.
missed them.
You said Chopper and Robin. You meant Chopper and
Oh,
Nami.
Chopper and Nami, my apologies.
This fit from Nami. Oh
Goddamn.
boy. Oh boy.
This bit from Chopper? Oh
This
my
fit from
god!
Chopper
Chopper with
with
the
the
the,
with the fucking like
the
king
fluffy
robe.
the king robe and the crown and the necklaces strung around his horns.
It's great.
It's amazing. I would have loved to have seen Walk Point with the things draped around his horns. It would
Oh
have looked
yeah.
great, like a little Christmas tree.
Hmm.
And then Nami in tears says, "It's Sanji." What's up with that? Sanji's
What's
fine,
up
I'm
with
sure.
where is he?
Where is Sanji? And then we sort of we get this
Yeah,
we get
everyone
immediately a
reunites.
celebration. And then
Yeah.
Brook is back. Brook is back, and
Um.
we learned that the dog Minx quite like Brook.
It's a great bit.
They quite
They
like
just
his bones.
chew on his bones.
They chew on his bones. He is not fond of it. He's finally getting the love from the ladies, and it's not what he wanted, which is kind of funny.
Hmm.
And then just Nami and Chopper and Brook being so sad about them not being able to save Sanji.
Hmm.
They're blaming themselves for it, which I think is
Right.
really sad because like I think that's the last thing that Sanji would want them to be doing.
No. Well, I mean, like we know, Sanji is like a self-sacrificial character.
Yeah, Sanji's a lot
Like
like Zoro
he,
in that way, where he would not want these people to be
yeah,
blaming this on themselves
like
because
in Thriller Bark, Sanji was willing to give up his life as well as
yeah,
Zoro,
which
like
I'm
Zoro
actually gonna
was.
come back to later.
Yeah, we are.
I am anyway. I literally in this arc I'm gonna come back to it.
Yeah, I
I
know.
have a I have I mean I think
Trust, trust.
it might even be in my notes if you've looked
I
at
didn't
them.
need to see. I didn't need to look at the notes.
Um,
I just know this
that
is.
that moment with Sanji is gonna come back in this thing. We get an explanation of sort of a little bit of what happened with them.
Yeah, what went on after they left
But we get
from
cut off to go see
Dressrosa?
Duke Dogstorm,
Yeah,
and Duke Dogstorm is cool. We get a little bit
he's
of
big.
flashback on the attack from Jack, who is a
From
mammoth,
Jack. He's an
which is like
ancient
an
Zoan.
ancient Zoan. There's even more types of Zoan fruits than I had ever imagined.
What do you know about ancient Zoans?
Did we? What other ancient Zoans have I seen?
Fucking Drake.
Oh, I totally forgot that his was an ancient Zoan. Yeah,
Yeah,
I just sort of was like, he's a dinosaur. Whatever.
the
I
dinosaur fruit.
forgot it had a classification. Well, isn't it a
Yeah,
model too?
yeah, it's I don't
He's
know
not
if
a
it is
T-Rex. I
actually a
know that.
model.
I don't remember what he is.
I think he is a T-Rex.
No, I think he's not a T-Rex. I'm pretty sure he's not a T-Rex. I could be wrong. Don't
I'm
quote me.
I'm looking it up.
I'm not the professional. I keep wanting to say Utahraptor, but he's not a Utahraptor. That's what Diego turns into in part 7 of JoJo's. He also can turn into a dinosaur. He turns into a Utahraptor, not a Velociraptor. And I'm pretty
Uh-huh.
sure it's a similar thing here where he turns into something that's similar to a T-Rex, but is not a T-Rex.
I'm
Anyways,
pretty
this
sure it's
whole
just a T-Rex,
back
but I'll
like
look it up.
flashback of Jack destroying Zoe is
Oh,
just heart-wrenching.
yeah. I think it really. I think it's a really great way of showing of hyping up Kaido in a way that just his one of his subordinates
It's
is
is
this
this devastating.
calamity, is this disastrous calamity of a person.
Yeah. I also
Like
like that we
he's
have the
called like
start of
Jack the Drought.
yeah, Jack the Drought, and then we learn that all of his major subordinates are named after natural disasters,
Yeah.
which I'm excited to see what the other ones were. I'm interested. I wonder if Doflamingo had one too, if he was the Joker, or maybe he's just an odd man out.
I don't know.
Um, and then we get
Oh,
introduced to
you're
Duke
right.
Dogstorm.
He's an Allosaurus.
Yeah, he's an Allosaurus. So you get owned, nerd.
That's his,
But
this is
we learned sort of that the
right.
Minks were putting up a good fight until Caesar happened. Caesar's gas weapon was used.
Right? You get
Um,
this is and just making the world feel so connected of like
like
the
oh yeah,
this person.
Caesar's evil shit had consequences. Like
Right.
we didn't
This like
stop
we it's
Caesar. We stopped Caesar, but we didn't stop him quick enough.
like
It's
yeah,
like what Chopper said. Like I wish I was here earlier,
right.
but we had to take the 2 year break. There was nothing we could do about it. You know.
Yeah. I mean, he did clean up his mess kinda. Not
He
well
did,
enough, but I
not
mean,
willingly, but
no, but look.
he did do it. I also like that we were introduced to Cat Viper and Duke Dogstorm have this. They hate each other so much
Right.
that one of them only comes out during the day and the other one only comes out during the night. And so
Mhm.
when they were fighting Jack's people, they would just tag out, which I
Yeah.
think is really cool. And this like
It was
sense of
really
like never giving them rest because we can rest because we have 2 fronts.
mhm.
And even
Really
still,
great.
they never wore Jack down at all.
No, Jack left only because he went to go try to save Dofi.
Save Doflamingo. Like Jack was not getting taken down. He wasn't even getting weakened for
Mhm.
days on end fighting these guys, which
Yeah.
is crazy.
And again, it's very well established that the Minks are no fucking slouches.
Yeah, no slouches. I mean,
They are
Carrot did a pretty good. I mean, Zoro probably wasn't trying to kill her, but like she parried Zoro, you know.
yeah.
And Zoro's no slouch. So like these guys are pretty freaking tough. If they were
Mhm.
able to fight, I mean, these guys fight Shanks. Like Shanks
Yeah.
has fought these guys. Like this once again, it raises the bar of the Emperors. Like this is the shit Shanks fought for a day and they turned around.
Mhm.
Whereas these guys, a part of this crew, not even the whole thing, like we assume with Shanks, was
Yeah.
here on Zoe for days on end and they weren't even tired out.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Shanks was enough to make them turn around.
Mhm.
Like it's crazy. But I love the
It's
introduction of all
crazy.
these Minks. Jack is a really big threat, and I'm excited to see more
Mhm.
of him.
Mhm.
Just because I think I don't know, he's a cool
He's
threat.
interesting. Yeah.
He's interesting. I mean, he might not. We might not see more of him. He did end up in the water, and Devil Fruit users can't
I will.
swim.
I will.
but I'm pretty sure he's gonna make it
I
out
will
alive.
I will skip ahead just to on that. It's kind of explained. I know it's explained more in the anime. Um, because Jack is a fish man.
Oh, I did not realize that.
Yeah,
I was wondering,
that's why he's just sitting at the bottom of the ocean,
like,
being
come
like,
pick me
"Come
up
get me,
already.
guys."
I was wondering why he was still alive. Thank you for
Yeah,
clarifying that.
he's a fisherman.
And then we have just this heart-wrenching moment of we learn that Jack took off one of Duke Dogstorm's legs and one of Cat Viper's arms
Mm-hmm.
to try
Had
and
them
get
like
them to
had them
admit,
like crucified
yeah,
in the
crucified.
in this in the middle of the city, torturing them to try to figure just to see if Rizo is here, even though they
Even
had
though
told him a
they
thousand
insist a
times.
thousand times that he's not here. Like, please
And
stop doing this to us.
I love just like the ruthlessness of Jack of like either Rizo is here and they're lying, or he isn't here and
And
they're
that's
still
their
at fault for that.
yeah, and that's their fault, and we're gonna kill them anyway.
Uh huh.
Also, there's this moment here, when we find when Chopper and Sanji and get here, Chopper and Sanji get here.
Mhm.
One of the guards, Pedro specifically, who
Mhm.
will be joining us in the next arc, and I have no thoughts on yet.
Yep.
Mentions that Duke Dogstorm and Cat Viper. He says the world awaits them. They must be saved under any circumstances. I don't know what that means. It's something that I caught and I thought was odd that he says
Yeah.
that the world awaits them.
The world
What is so
awaits
important about
them.
these two?
Do you have
Perhaps
the official translation pulled up?
I can pull it up.
I just want to see if it's different in that.
I think it's the same. Let me give me a second. Um, but I think it's really interesting. I don't know. It could be maybe their connection to um
Roger.
the Roger and the Kozuki clan. It might be
Mhm.
something else. I'm not sure what it could be. Um,
Um.
yeah, the world awaits them. It's the
Yeah.
same text. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know. It's just something that I caught. I thought I wanted to mention that I've been thinking about it.
Mhm.
I like this moment with Sanji and Caesar. It's fun. I'm just sort of trying to move along to more of the stuff I want to discuss because I don't want to be stuck in here too long. Here we go. Now this is what I'm talking about. We get
Hold on.
to the appearance of Peckhams and Capone Beshi, who appear. They've chased the Straw
They've.
Hats, and I think sort of recontextualizes why the Big Mom pirates showed up to the Sunny in the first place,
Mhm.
because Big Mom has an invitation.
Yeah.
And when Big Mom sends an invitation to a tea party, you show up
You show up.
because that's an Emperor of the fucking sea. Um,
And more of Beige's powers just being cool as
Being
hell.
cool as hell. And
He just like he just like opens his palm and his men inside of him
him
start
gun down
blasting.
Peckhams, really cool.
It's such a sick power.
Um, and then Brook and Chopper and Nami get captured because they wanted to see what Sanji is
Right.
up to, including
Um.
Caesar. And
Mhm.
we get brought
And
in. We
they're
learn that there is an invitation for you
into
here for
brought
Mama's tea party. You
inside of the
see,
castle, the
they're brought in the
castle
castle.
man.
The main event this time is a wedding. The groom is Sanji, third son of the Vinsmoke family. The bride, Pudding, 35th daughter of the Charlotte family. What the
Boom.
fuck?
Boom.
So, boom, we learn that Sanji is part of some family.
Of
I think
Innsmokes.
they sort of describe they're a family of assassins or something similar. They're a big
But
deal in the underworld. Anyway,
yes.
regardless. I guess you can't
Mhm.
really confirm. I'm just sort of speaking out loud. Some sort of big deal family, which is a little different than what I was saying. I was thinking he was going to be a prince and more in the not like an underground kind of family. These guys seem to be like a big deal family in the underworld. He could still
Mhm.
be royalty, I guess. They could be technically royalty. I don't know.
I mean, to be royalty, all you have to be is like, you know,
Yeah,
like aligned with the world government.
yeah, but I don't know if these guys are aligned with the world government. I would imagine
No,
if they're making
we don't know.
I would imagine if they're making a familial blood deal with an emperor of the sea, they're probably not aligned with the world government.
Yeah.
But this shit shakes Sanji to his core
To his
in this
core,
moment. The cigarette
and
falls out of
you
his
can just
mouth. You
like
can see it. He's like, well, shit. Why
like he's I
now?
mean he tells Nami later on, it's like, I never want my past was never supposed to come back up.
Yeah, he's son of the Sanji's family. Now that you mention it, Yeah, we met
and
him in
we
the
get
East
we get
Blue. He
little
said he was the
flashbacks to all
North,
these different moments.
but I thought it was strange at the time. And Brooke brings up the thing that I said, where he's like, that is a
Yeah,
big deal. To go from the North Blue to the East Blue, you must cross the red line.
yeah.
What kind of upbringing did this guy have? And Sanji initially is like, he pushes back. He's like, don't get ahead of yourselves. I don't have to show up.
Hmm.
Just me
And
getting married to a woman I've never met. This is the
he
first time
is
Sanji's
dead
rejected a woman. Um,
dead serious this whole time.
dead serious this whole time. He's not smoking.
Yeah.
Dead serious this whole time. The
He's
Straw Hat Crew has
he
no
doesn't even
intention of joining their side.
doesn't even consider the fact that like there's a woman involved or anything. He is
Yeah,
just he is stone cold.
our captain isn't the kind of guy who works for anyone else. Luffy is the man who will be king of the pirates. I love this moment for
Said
Sanji.
it. He
I
said the
love.
thing.
Has Sanji not said it yet?
I don't think so. I think this is the first time
Really?
he says it.
Wow. I did not know that. I didn't even think about that.
I'm pretty sure this is the first
That's
time
really
Sanji
cool. I
says
love this moment for Sanji because it's in this moment I think that Sanji is like, this is gonna be my problem and not their problem.
right. Yes.
Because like
He, this
Luffy
is
is the
not.
man who will be king of the pirates. I believe that he will be king of the pirates, and if my history and my family stops him from doing that, then I'm gone.
Mhm. Because he is willing to sacrifice himself.
He is willing to sacrifice himself if it means that Luffy can be king of the pirates. We've shown that in Thriller Bark, and he's
Right.
showing it again here. And he gets the other three out, and he's like,
Hmm.
well, he leaves a note. I'm coming back.
I'll come back. Don't worry,
I'll come
guys.
back. Don't worry, guys.
Sanji knows he's not coming
Sanji knows he's not coming back. I also love when he's like, well, you can't kill me. What are
back.
you gonna do?
True.
You can't kill me. What are you gonna do?
Hmm.
Um, this is my
He
problem.
gives him
I will
he
be
gives him
back.
a
So tell
smile.
them back. Tells them, shows them a likely fake smile.
Hmm.
I will be back. So tell them that. And Sanji's gone. To the crew,
Oh.
I'm gonna meet a woman. I'll be back.
Oh.
And Brooke, I love this from Brooke because Brooke
Hmm.
is a very surprisingly emotionally intelligent person,
Hmm.
despite being detached from any human interaction for 50 years.
Hmm.
And I'll come back to this a little bit, in that I think more than anybody, I think Brooke watches the rest of the
Brooke
crew maybe the most.
understands what's going on here
He
the
understands what's
most.
going on here the most. Perhaps he knows something about the Vince Smoke family, maybe not. I feel like he probably would have brought it up, but he gets what's going on. He understands Sanji, and this is because once again, I think Brooke and Zoro are the only people that saw that moment
Right,
in Thriller
exactly.
Bark.
Brooke was there in Thriller Bark to
Brooke was
see
there in Thriller Bark,
Sanji.
but I think this I'll bring back to this later. But Brooke, I think more than anyone, watches the rest of the crew the most
Yeah, which I mean makes
because
sense. You know, he
that's
was
Brooke's
alone for
job.
so
He was
long.
alone
He's
for
gonna
so long.
be
He's going to watch his friends close, and that's what Brooke's role is on the crew, is to watch the rest of
right.
the crew. And I'll come back to this in a minute.
Hmm.
But I love that it's Brooke who says even if you caught him, he does not intend to return. Despite what he just said and despite what the note says,
Right.
Brooke knows
Hmm.
it's no point. He's not going to come back. Not
Yeah.
intentionally, anyway. And then we get to what this is gonna be. This is probably a hot take. What might be my single favorite moment in this whole section of Brooks. This two-page section where Brooks sings a song.
Hmm.
Let's go see Mr. Catviper. Which is a little moment of, I believe he's singing us.
It didn't click for me when I was first watching this, but when you doing your read through because you're more locked in on Brooke stuff.
I'm very locked in on Brooke, and this is what I was talking about in Robin in the last discussion, where these characters that I like the most, I pay more attention
Hmm.
to, and this is a moment
Right.
that I think is very easy to miss what Brooke is doing here,
Absolutely.
because I, we keep talking about this a lot with different crew members. Brooke is doing in this moment the thing that only he can do,
Hmm.
and that is play a stupid, silly song and distract everybody from the Sanji stuff.
Hmm.
Because in especially the anime does this especially well. I watched this scene in the anime of
Yeah.
like everybody is like kind of down out of this like story that Nami has just told them, and you can see it on their faces. And then the moment she's done telling the story, Brooke starts playing a song,
Hmm.
and it distracts everybody. Zoro gets distracted by it. He stops. He wakes up from his sleep after he's like, "We just leave Sanji. Who cares?"
Hmm.
and he starts listening to the song.
I want to talk. I
Luffy,
want to talk about Zoro in
I'm
this.
gonna talk about
In,
Zoro in this moment too. I have to think about him,
okay.
but I want to
Yeah.
get.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
Brook
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
Brook happens first, but Zoro says that first in the anime, and then
Mhm.
he wakes up from his slumber to listen to Brook's song. Luffy gets distracted by the lyrics being dumb.
Mhm.
Usopp stops worrying about it because he's more upset about Brook's song making no sense. And it's this moment of like Brook is watching the crew. He recognizes that this story and this thing that happened to Sanji is distressing to them, and so it is
Right.
his job as the crew's musician to make them feel better.
Mhm.
And he's the only member of the crew that is capable of distracting them in this moment by singing
Right.
a silly little song about Mr. Cat Viper, who we're gonna go see, and he'll know what to do.
Which I
And
didn't
then
know this when I was listening to your read through. I didn't know that this was like a real song.
yeah, this is a real song that Brooks' voice actor sung in some other thing, and apparently, from what I've looked into a little bit, is his I think in the Japanese cat viper is called Nekomamushi, and that was the
Mhm.
name of Brooks' voice actor's cat,
Oh, really?
and it was a song that Brooks' voice actor would sing to his cat
Oh, that's
that
adorable.
then got adapted into this moment that I love so much. I don't know, and it's just like every little bit of it just and like in the anime especially at the end Usopp's like, well, what was the point? Did you actually have you met this guy? Is this what he's like? And Brooke says, not in the
No, not
least.
really. He's not like that at all.
He's not like that at all. And Usopp's like, what was the point then? And Brooke says to Usopp in the anime, he says, it's just a song, Usopp. Now learn it.
Oh,
And I fucking love him so much. I love this
God.
skeleton. He cares so much, but it's harder for him to show it, I think, because he's
Right.
not been here as long as everybody else. He's not as strong as
Mhm.
everybody else. But he can
Yeah.
play a fucking song, man.
He can play a song,
He
and he
can
can
he can play a
just even
song,
for just a second
even if it's for
distract
just
the
a
crew.
second, distracts the crew from the sadness they feel about Sanji, just
Right.
long enough to make them feel better so they can come back to the Sanji topic with sharper minds.
Right. Ah, I love him.
And I love him so much.
Ah.
I love him so much, and I think that something like this is going to happen in Whole Cake too. I think that Brooks' emotional awareness of the rest of the crew is going to be important, and it's going to be the
Mhm.
big reason why he's with us in this next section.
Yeah.
I love Brooks so much. I love this
Yeah.
section.
Absolutely.
It's such a nothing moment, right? It's a
No,
silly moment.
it's a moment
The
that you could so easily just not even
yeah
think about for an extra second.
yeah.
But if you do,
But if you do, he's just there.
hold on, go back to that Zoro stuff.
Yeah, well, we're coming back to the Zoro stuff. I just wanted to see if there's something else I wanted to talk about. But it's just I don't know. I love Brook. I love these small moments, and I want to talk about Zoro in this moment too, because Zoro
Yeah.
has this whole thing about like, let's just leave it.
Yeah.
He'll owe us a final thanks for everything. Sorry about the trouble. We're currently on a
Hmm.
course that can't be changed. You know, we don't have the time. Kaido's one of the emperors. He's a big fucking deal, and we're about to go fight him.
Mhm.
Um, and he thinks that Sanji's thing is small time business. And what I have in my notes is because we know, you know, obviously Zoro and Sanji have their like brotherly argument thing that they do all the time, right?
Yeah.
But
But we know.
we know the rest of the crew, I guess Brook knows, the rest of the crew does not know that Zoro really does care about Sanji.
Absolutely, like
Because
they're
they're
brothers
brothers.
in
Back
this
in Thriller
in
Bark, Sanji tried to throw his life away so that Zoro could live instead,
could live.
and Zoro did not let him.
Right.
And I think my thoughts is that in this moment, Zoro is doing the same thing for Sanji that Sanji did for Zoro back in Thriller Bark. I think that
I think
Zoro wants nothing to happen in Whole Cake Island.
I
He
have a
wants to
different
let
read on
he wants
this.
to let that was my thinking is that Zoro wants to let Sanji handle it. He believes that Sanji can handle it, and he doesn't want the rest of the crew to have to worry about Sanji because he wouldn't want the rest of the crew worrying about him. Is
I
my
have a
thoughts.
different read on that.
Please give me your read.
I
I would
think
love to know.
that Zoro is freaking the fuck out right now, but because he's a dumb idiot who doesn't know how to express his emotions, he's lashing out
That is
and
also very
just
possible.
saying we don't need him. Whatever, like if he wants to leave, that's fine.
Yeah.
I think that Zoro in this moment is way more freaked out than anyone else.
Than anyone realizes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's certainly possible.
Because we know that Zoro cares about Sanji. We
Cares enough
know
about
that he
Sanji to save his life, at the very
right.
least. To offer, and not just to save his life, but to offer his own life in its place.
Mhm.
And to cap it all off, there's one man who will not accept this news, and that's Monkey D. fucking Luffy.
That's Monkey D. fucking Luffy,
He says,
bitch.
"Fine, we can't figure it out talking here. Let's just go ask Sanji. We'll just go get him. It's
I
not a
love
big
him.
deal. We'll just go get him." And I love Usopp's like, "How do you plan to do that? That's Big Mom." And he's like, "I'll just go quietly." And then after this argument, what happens? Brook goes back to playing the song.
Uh,
Let's go find Mr.
I love.
Cat Viper.
I do just love Luffy so much. He's like, I'll just be
Quiet.
quiet.
I'll just go talk to Sanji quietly.
Big Mom doesn't have to know. I'll just go in. I'll ask if this is what he wants, just like I did with Rebecca. And then if he says no, then I'll break him out, just like I did with Rebecca.
Yeah. Which is more of a plan than Luffy is used to having, so.
This is true. He did think about it, which I think it's a bit of just a tiny little seed that we see of Luffy now after the crew has been challenged on how they choose a leader. I think Luffy is going to have to
He's gonna have to be
grow
that
as a
leader
leader
again.
again.
He's gonna have to be
And I
that
think this
leader
is just
again.
a tiny seed of showing Luffy's growth,
Yeah.
of him not being like, whatever, I'll figure it out. He at least has a concept of a plan.
He's got a concept of a plan. And because I just want to talk about Brook one last time here, I love that after this argument, he's like, well, there is one person who might have some knowledge. You know who that is? The Cat Viper. And then he plays his little song again,
Mm-hmm.
transitioning the thing they're thinking about and the thing they're worried about back into his music. And I love it.
Yeah.
It's just a song, Usopp. God. Fuck. In his stupid orange striped pants. I love him so much. He's drift like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. And then we get to meet some more minks, like Pedro, who I really still have no thoughts on. I don't know. I think it's interesting. He kind of looks like Sanji a little bit. If Sanji was a tiger,
Yeah,
he's
I
got like
guess.
the hair. He smokes. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything there to it. We get Chopper's girlfriend.
Woo!
And then we meet we meet Garfield. We meet Garfield.
Every time I see it, I forget. I forget that he's just fucking Garfield. He loves lasagna.
He loves lasagna. He's got open wounds in a hot bath. He's singing meow 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 meow. I love lasagna. Such a fancy feast. And Chopper, I love Chopper too. I haven't really talked too much about Chopper, but Chopper's doing a
Anytime
lot
that
of
Chopper
doctoring.
gets to do his doctoring.
Every time that Chopper gets to do his doctoring, I'm a happy man. And Chopper gets to do a lot of doctoring in this section.
Mm-hmm.
I like that somebody throws a ball and Cat Viper tries to go for it and then it opens his wounds. It's just very funny
Yeah.
stuff. I also
I'm laying down. I'm laying down because I want to.
too. I also think it's funny that Brook thinks that Cat Viper's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like he made that song not because Cat Viper's actually like that, but because Brook thinks it's funny that Cat Viper could be like that.
Yeah.
I just like, I don't
That's
know,
great.
it's fun. And we get to learn a little more about Sanji here. Peckhams
Yeah.
informs us about Sanji's family being a family of killers, which I guess is where I got the assassin thing from.
Mm-hmm.
And it's another moment that's great. Also, we had the mention of Germa 66. I don't know what that is. Or 66? I don't remember what they said.
I've always heard
66?
it
Double
called
six.
66.
This thing says double six. I said 66. I don't know.
Either
Germa
way,
66.
It could be whatever.
I also like it's another just beautiful moment for Luffy. They start explaining, also called the Warmongers, and they go on this whole explanation, and Luffy just goes, "I don't know what that means, but I don't care.
Yeah. I love that.
I want to know if he's coming back or not. If he's getting married, whatever. I don't care. I just don't want us to be Big Mom's followers. Cause then, but if so, then you guys work for me, not the other way around."
Right. Luffy just be like, I got no idea what you guys are talking about, and I do not care. The
Luffy
only thing
has
I give a shit
these.
about
He
is
has
if
these.
Sanji comes back.
Yeah. And then I love this moment. This is a moment. Where is it? I thought he said this here. I thought Peckham said this here about. Yes. Is it here?
Oh yes,
Yes, this
yeah.
part here. This is the part I wanted to talk about. This is the part I made a note about. Peckham's is explaining like why Sanji has to go and like you can't refuse Big Mom's offer because then she'll send you a box that has one of your closest like people you care about's head in it.
Yeah,
And Luffy's
and
like,
like
"How
that.
do
I
you
mean,
know about this
that
stuff?"
was you were kind of talking about back in the castle was
Like you don't refuse an
Beige.
offer from Big Mom.
Beige,
You go.
Beige was like it could be someone at that little restaurant you
Like you
like,
like so much.
one of the kama one
Yeah,
of
one of the
the
Newcomer people.
new
Could be
kama
one of your
people.
crew members. It could be anybody.
Could be
Somebody you
anybody.
care about. And
Yeah, and then we find out.
Peckham's describes when a person with overwhelming power threatens you, the future is set in stone. Who can resist it? That is the meaning of the four emperors. There is simply no other option. Or as he says to Luffy, because this is true power, Straw Hat.
Mm-hmm.
This is so interesting to me. This is one of the most interesting things that gets said to me in this section.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it feels to me, and this is the connection I made immediately. I thought of Eneru when I read
Ooh.
this the first time. Because what did Eneru do back in Skypiea? He used his unbelievably strong mantra or observation hockey to predict the future, and that future was set in stone.
Yeah, because he
Because
literally
he was
had the
God.
power
He
to
had the
shape it.
power to shape it. He was God.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're going to see something similar explored in Whole Cake as our inversion of Eneru. Because I think that I still think that we're doing somewhat in some way inverting major antagonists for each saga. So we did Arlong, we've done Crocodile, so I think now we have to do Eneru. Even though Eneru was a little bit of Doflamingo, I think that this topic of what power gives you and what power like lets you do to people,
Right.
I think ties back to Eneru, and it is a question of what power does Luffy hold? Because if these people can set the future in stone, then Luffy just needs the power to change that future, doesn't he?
Yep.
And if there's anybody that could have the power to change the future, it's probably Monkey D. Luffy.
It's
Is
probably
my
Monkey
guess.
D. Luffy.
So I think this is a really interesting thing to say, and thing to think about. And also, this is where Peckham's mentions that Blackleg Sanji will cease to be your crewmate. To which Luffy responds, "Who gets to decide that?
Yeah.
He's on my crew. Then take me with you." And he's at this point, he's fully decided. I'm gonna go get him. I'm gonna go see Sanji. I also love that Luffy knows too. He's like, "Hey Zoro, I bet you're worried about Sanji, huh?" It's just so good.
And he knows.
He knows. Then Law's back. And this is another moment I love, is Law's stupid, goofy Ginyu Force posing crew. Because Law puts on this tough guy facade, but he's not a tough guy. Law is deep down, he is a silly guy just like the rest of them. And I know it. Because Korra was a silly guy. But Laws had to spend so long being the tough guy so that he could take down Doflamingo. But why do you think Law went to Luffy and not to Kid? Kid is, as far as the world is aware, more powerful than Luffy is.
Right.
But he went to the silly one. Because that's what he gravitates towards. Maybe he's thinking of Korra, and that's why he gravitates towards these sillier people.
Maybe.
I don't know, but I like it. It's funny. I think it's a funny contrast, but I also think that Law is just like them. Even if he doesn't show it. And Law's crew is really funny here.
Oh yeah.
And then we get sort of our general plan being decided here of like, we can't wait anymore.
Right.
We are like Kaido is after us now.
We just set some shit in motion.
We just pissed off Kaido, the strongest creature in the sea.
Yeah. And they know that they know how to get to Zou now.
No, they know how to get to Zou, and they know that we're here at Zou.
Yeah.
So like we
Law
don't
was like,
have
I
time.
figured we might be able to like hide out on Zoe for a while, but we can't
We
now.
can't do that anymore. And like these people are in danger. We can't stay here. So like if you guys go to save Blackleg, we can't stay here while we wait for you to come back.
Right.
Because then Kaido's gonna crash down on Zoe, and what happens to these people? And this is a moment where Law is not a pirate either. He's a hero, just
Yeah.
like Luffy
He's a
is,
hero.
because he cares too.
He cares about the people.
He cares about the people. He cares about them being safe, them being free, because that's what Korra
Hmm.
would have wanted.
Man.
You know.
Every time we talk about Korra, I
And
almost
so
cry.
we have another feast.
And
This
so
is
yeah, we
like
got another
this is
beat.
our second party in Zoe already. And then I love this too of like, seems we adults must keep things under control.
Yeah.
We can't let the samurai in. But I love that they are the adult trio, I guess.
Hmm.
Which I guess, I don't know, Brook is a silly Billy guy, but we do get a bit of that in this arc of like, he cares, you know?
Hmm.
He
Yeah.
cares a lot.
He
And
knows
it,
his
it
place.
is these guys of like trying to stop the samurais from getting here because they're all convinced that the samurais were
That the Minks hate the
makes
samurai.
hate the samurai for being punished because of their actions.
Hmm.
And so the samurai get here, um, Duke Dogstorm and Cat Viper start clashing, and Kinamon's like, stop! And we get the reveal that Raizo is alive and well.
Oh,
How we have waited for you.
dude,
This moment is mind blowing.
it's insane.
I was making the same face Usopp was when this moment
This
happened. I
dude,
was like,
these
what?
guys have been their city has been destroyed.
Yeah, their city that has
Presumably,
existed for a millennium has been ravaged. Their
I'm sure
people are
some people,
destroyed.
I'm sure some people died.
Yeah,
The
they've
the the two
lost,
their two leaders were mutilated.
were
They lost an
mutilated.
arm and a leg, literally,
Yeah,
all for the sake of Raizo,
protecting
who
Raizo and the rest of the samurai.
and
Alright.
immediately.
No matter what should befall us, we would never sell a comrade to the enemy, Cat Viper says. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful stuff. And it's something, it's like, it's strange that I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's so easy to be like, oh, well, obviously they would know. Because that's
Hmm.
where they said Raizo was going to be. The samurai did.
But
And
I mean,
like, oh,
like,
they're just being punished and all this stuff. But they really sell you on that it didn't happen.
hmm
And it helps that like the Straw Hats are so insistent on Luffy not saying that the samurai are here. Like the Straw Hats are convinced, and that makes you convinced.
yeah.
Because like, yeah, Luffy's an idiot, but the Straw Hats as a collective are not an idiot.
Right. Yeah. we got Robin. She's smart.
But like, if they can trick Kaido's crew, surely they can trick the Straw Hats, right? About
Right.
this. And then we learned some new stuff about the Kozuki clan.
Ooh.
Um,
I mean, you didn't know what the Kozuki clan was,
yeah,
so
but we
we learned
learn we
that
learn
the
about
Kozuki
them
clan
and then more
exists.
about them after we learn that they exist. Um, bro, why is Momonosuke so annoying?
Look, he's fucking 8, dude.
Yeah, and he's acting like a celestial dragon does.
Well, we find out why.
Yeah, because he's Lord Momonosuke.
He's a lord.
Yeah, and it pisses Luffy off too. um, I don't know. I just, you know, he is still a perv as an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
He tells people to bow down to him. Um, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
he was raised as, you know,
Yeah, he says,
you
grovel
know,
to me when you speak, Luffy. And he says, no way.
yeah.
But I love that Luffy, and I think that Luffy is going to change Momo for the better, is my thoughts.
Yeah. I agree.
I think that
I mean,
Luffy, already a little bit in this section, that Luffy is a positive force for Momo, even if he's kind of being a jackass about it. But, like, he kind of needs to be a jackass about it, because otherwise Momo's not going to get it.
mhm.
I do think he's a little annoying in this section because he has a perv thing again. Um, and he tells everybody to bow down to him. Also, shouts to my boy Brook, who made it a whole arc without being a perv. I'm so proud of him. I'm sure this will definitely continue into the next arc, Smile. Um, and so we go up to go meet the ninja and learn a whole bunch of new
Yes.
shit.
And all the boys love ninjas.
All the boys love ninjas, and the girls
I
do
feel like
not get it.
this has to be some sort of allusion to Naruto.
It's gotta be, right? Surely. I I made a comment also. I don't whatever. I really don't give a shit about Raizo, to be honest. Um,
Yeah.
there's a red poneglyph in here,
Yeah.
to which Robin is curious about. She's never seen one so red, and we learn that this is a road
Road
a road
poneglyph.
poneglyph,
Yeah.
of which there are four, each pointing
Mhm.
to a different location, and then at the center point of those 4 points is the location of Raftail.
Yeah.
Which is a crazy thing to learn.
I mean, like we just learned our end game.
Yeah, we learned our end
Like
game.
this is the path to the end that we just found.
Yeah, and we learned that Big Mom has one, Kaido has one, we have one, and the fourth one is unknown. No one
Mhm.
knows where it is. And so I immediately have a whole bunch of questions surrounding this introduction of this road poneglyph. The
Yeah.
first is that from Robin's dream and backstory and stuff, we learned that apparently all of the poneglyphs put together are supposed to make a message. They're
Or
supposed
like
to
tell the history
tell
of
the
the world.
history, but all of them put together are supposed to mean something. Do these
Yeah.
ones also do that? Are they part of it?
I don't know.
Are the 4 places they point to important to the history of the world?
I
Maybe.
mean, they point to Raftel, so yeah, probably.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, are the
Or
points
I guess
the point
also
because all the points
I think it is more it's more commonly referred to as Laugh-Tale, not
laugh tail.
Raftel.
Okay, my apologies.
Yeah.
Are but I mean, like, are because there's 4 points, and then at the center of those points is laugh tail. Are
Yeah.
those 4 points important too?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe.
Who
I'm
knows?
I'm just like theorizing. I don't know. I mean, like, we know that
Oh, I'm
all
not.
of them put together are supposed to tell a message or
I'm never gonna
explain the
tell. I'm never gonna
history.
tell you.
Are these part of the message that explains the history?
Hmm.
Um, all kinds of stuff. It was reached. This final location island has only been reached by the king of the pirates and his crew. We also learn in this moment, Nami brings it up, of like, but Crocus, who was on that crew, told us to go to the end of the Grand Line and follow the log,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
to find road poneglyphs.
Hmm.
And we learn that that is what Roger's crew did. They made it to
Yeah.
the end of the Grand Line, and at the end of the Grand Line, they realized,
Yeah.
oh shit, this is not the end.
Yeah.
And then they
They
started
had to
their
run it
journey.
back.
They started their journey over again from the beginning
Uh huh.
to then find the secrets of the world.
Hmm.
So I've got a lot of thoughts. Could it be A, whatever the final island at the end of the log is the one that makes it is supposed to make it apparent that the poneglyphs exist and are important and have something to do with the history of the world and point to the real end of the Grand Line, which is Laugh-Tale?
Hmm.
Could it be that one of the road poneglyphs is on that final island at the end of the log, and so that discovering that then makes you realize, oh, there's more to it than this. It's not just
Hmm.
get to the end. Maybe there's something else that's there that's not poneglyph related that makes you go, oh, this is not where I'm supposed to finish. This is where there's more to it than this. I don't
Yeah.
know. Because I think whatever it is, I think it is important that you need to get to the end of the Grand Line
Hmm.
as part of the process because
As
otherwise
part of it.
Crocus would not have told them that. I
Right.
don't think.
Yeah, I mean, the Cat Viper and Dogstorm, one of them said like, yeah, Crocus wouldn't have lied to you
Yeah, Crocus wouldn't have lied to
unless he
you if
didn't like you,
unless he didn't like you, and it's
which
pretty clear that
we know
Crocus
we
likes
know that
us because we
Crocus
helped
likes him.
Laboon. Um, so like, what is it about Laugh-Tale? Or what is it about these poneglyphs? Like, what is it at the end of the Grand Line? And then I'm just gonna like skip ahead because I'm talking about poneglyphs. We also learn. Actually, before we do that, I'm gonna back it up. So I want to talk about Robin.
Back it up.
Back it up before we get to that. We get to this moment where Cat Viper is like, "Hey, eventually the biggest players all over the world are gonna want the truth of these poneglyphs,
Mhm.
and the only person that can read them that we know of that's alive is Nico
You.
Robin. And Robin laughs and says, "I don't mind. I've got powerful friends who will protect me."
Oh.
Oh. And I know there is, from what I understand, a bit of a discussion about whether or not Robin is going to be captured again.
Mhm.
I am not sure. I think that the threat of her being captured needs to become relevant. I don't think her being captured needs to become relevant.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think the difference between now and then is that she has powerful friends who will protect her. She has
Right.
Monkey D. Luffy. She has
Yeah,
Roronoa Zoro. She
and she
has
has
Blackleg Sanji.
the will now
And she has the
to live.
will to live and work alongside these people that care about her to keep her safe.
Mhm.
And she's not willing to throw her life away to keep them safe because she wants to live now.
Mhm.
And so I think that there is a chance that people
I
will
don't
try
think
to
that Robin will
be
actually
captured.
be captured
I
again.
think there is a chance that people will try to capture Robin. I think it's less that Robin herself is strong enough and more that the crew as a collective are strong enough to keep Robin safe now.
Right. Yeah.
Because they were not strong enough before, but there's been 2 years since then.
Mhm.
And even then, they were strong enough to tear down Annie's lobby and
Yeah.
bring her home. You know? And Luffy already wants to kick the ass of all the biggest people in the world. They want to come after Robin. That's going to make Luffy much stronger.
Yeah.
If they go
Yeah.
after one of his
That
friends,
is not.
if Kaido
That is
captures
not
Nico
gonna end
Robin,
well.
he is in for a world of fucking hurt. You know? And I think he might already be. But I love this moment. And I'm going to
Mhm.
skip ahead because we learn a little bit more about the poneglyphs and why they are related here to
Yeah.
the Kozuki clan. And we learn that the Kozuki clan are the people who made the fucking poneglyphs
Yeah.
800
Isn't
years
that
ago because
crazy?
they are a clan from Wano that are a history and a line of stonemasons.
Mhm.
And not only that, we learn that Momo's father, Kozuki Oden, was a member of Gold Roger's crew.
Yeah.
Goldie Roger's crew, excuse me.
Also, Whitebeard.
Also, and Whitebeard's crew temporarily as well.
Yep.
And that he
Well,
could
he was.
read the
I would say he.
poneglyphs.
I think it was. He was a member of Roger's crew, but he sailed with Whitebeard for a
He
time.
sailed with Whitebeard for a time. So then the question becomes, was Kozuki Oden the only member of Roger's crew that could read the poneglyphs? I don't know.
Who
Maybe.
knows?
When did he join the crew is another question. Did he
Mhm.
join the crew after they discovered the poneglyphs were important and they needed somebody who could read them?
Mhm.
Maybe. Um, I don't know. I'm still on the idea that maybe our crew is supposed to mirror Roger's crew. We don't know a lot about Roger's crew. So
Yeah.
does our crew need a stonemason? I don't know. I don't
I
really
don't
think
know.
so. Because I'm maybe thinking that his role on the crew is more so reading the poneglyphs, and we have Robin fills that
Yeah.
role.
Odin was probably the archaeologist, or
Yeah, or
filled that
the
same role.
equivalent of what Robin is doing for the crew.
Mhm.
And it's just so interesting. And he's dead,
And he's
been
dead.
killed by, um, been
The
killed by
Shogun.
the Shogun and Kaido, who at first I thought
Mhm.
were the same guy, and then I realized they're different people.
Mhm.
Because at first I thought they were saying, because it said the Shogun and Emperor of the Sea Kaido, and I was thinking that was two different titles for him.
Ah,
And then later they said the Shogun and Kaido, and I was like, oh, never mind,
different people.
different people. And so the Kozuki clan and their relation to the Poneglyphs has a lot to do with my biggest theory coming out of this arc, but I'm gonna hold that because it ties into something else that happens later
Okay.
that we have not gotten to yet. But I think it's just I'm so curious about because like we've got our end goal, right?
Right.
But do we really? Because we've still got
Kinda.
all these other loose ends that need to be done before we can even get to that raft tail.
Mhm.
The left tail. We need to presumably take out Big Mom, take out Kaido, find the last one. We have no clue where that could be.
Mhm.
So we got to do some serious digging to find that out. And then once those all point to a place, we then have to find where that is.
Right.
Which is why we need a navigator who's charted the entire sea.
Uh, mhm.
Um,
And I will say, uh, it's yes, technically you probably should be able to triangulate the position with three of them. I assume that there's like either some poneglyph magic on them, or for some reason like there's like a code that you need. Like the map is split into 4 pieces,
That might make more sense. Yeah.
so like you get a bit of each on each road poneglyph because it doesn't actually like you should be able to triangulate a position if you have 3 points.
Yeah. Or maybe it's like, I don't know. The way it's described is like a cross, so it's more like you have two lines as opposed to like a triangle.
Well, if you had, but I mean, if you had,
Well, yeah, but if you had 3 of the points, it would point to the center of those 3 points, not to
this is true.
the spot in the middle of the cross.
This is true.
So I think it's more so that it's, at least from the visual, is that it's a cross and not like a triangle where you're finding the center point of the triangle.
Mhm.
I don't know. Regardless,
Regardless,
um,
you need all 4.
we also learn in this section that Wano is closed off to the outside world, and that Kozuki
Yeah.
Oden wanted to open it.
Yep, that was his final wish.
It's his final wish that they are acting out,
Mm-hmm.
which is so
Open,
interesting.
open
And
Wano's borders.
why is Wano closed? Is my question.
Well, we know that Wano is a country not aligned with the world government.
My other question is why? How long has Wano been closed?
We don't know.
Has Wano been closed since the Void Century? Was it closed during the Void Century? Before? I
Who
don't know.
knows?
I don't know. It's clear
I
that
don't know.
it's not so closed that people can't get there, because we learned that Roger's crew landed on Wano,
Right.
which is how they met Kozuki Oden.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then we have, they explain all this to Luffy, and they're like, please help us.
Yeah.
Luffy says no.
Luffy says no.
And the crew gets upset at Luffy with this, and Luffy's like, no. Momo, speak up for yourself.
Momo, you are
in charge of all these people. You
you're
are a
the
leader.
leader.
Luffy is Vivi
Yeah.
in this instance.
Yeah.
Luffy is Vivi in this instance. You are a leader.
Mm-hmm.
You command these incredibly mighty, capable people. So you're just going to stand there and cry, or are you going to tell me what you need?
Right. Ah.
Ugh.
People say Luffy doesn't grow as a character. What are you guys fucking talking about?
Ugh. And then Momo has this flashback to somebody saying this to him. I'm presuming Kozuki Oden. Gaze out upon it. That is the world, Momonosuke. Sweet, there's an escape route. Your father is a fool of a lord. And he says, I want to defeat Kaido to Luffy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it takes.
Yep.
That's all it takes. I am too small. I cannot do it. I want you to help me fight, Luffy. See for yourself. I am begging for you. I get it. He doesn't let him bow to him, also.
Yeah.
Which I think is an interesting...
because as 2 leaders, Luffy
Yeah.
wants to impart onto Momo that they are equals.
Yeah, they're equals.
He does not see now he now sees Momo as a leader and as an equal.
You don't bow to each
And so,
other.
right.
And
But
you don't
like,
get
what
your
he was-
subordinates to tell me what to do. You tell me what we're doing,
You tell me.
and you don't bow to me. Let's team up. It's an alliance.
Mhm.
I'll take down Kaido.
Yep.
I also like that Luffy's like, no, you're supposed to grab it like, not like that.
Like bam.
Like, bam. And then immediately after that, Luffy's like, all right, great, we're in an alliance. I have some conditions.
So now that we're in alliance, I
have to go
Whole
save my
island.
friend. My crew member is gone. I need
So
to go get Sanji.
So now that we've all agreed that we're gonna go take on Kaido,
Oh.
I'm gonna go take on another emperor.
Yeah, now that we've all agreed we're after Kaido, I'm gonna go fight Big Mom. I'll be right back.
I'll be
I
really
also
quiet,
like.
though. I'll be
I also
really
like
quiet. Don't
Luffy
worry.
says, listen up, don't ever bow your heads to me again. Don't get on the ground. An alliance together means we're friends. And Law goes, no it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. What are you talking about?
I'm gonna bring him back. So hold off fighting until then. The good news is Sanji's real tough. So we're off to go get Sanji.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jack's crew reappears
Yep.
and are this time attacking the elephant.
Yeah.
Also, I
Trying to
love
bring
that Dogstorm and Cat Viper get get their friends again now.
Yep. Very cool.
Um, this is the part where Nami talks about the log that I was talking about earlier. This is also where we learn that Marco is on the run or in hiding,
Yep.
and that Blackbeard,
There was a war between the remnants of the
the
Whitebeard
Whitebeard
pirates
pirates and
and
Blackbeard's
the new
pirates,
Blackbeard pirates.
and Blackbeard kicking their shit in is what got him the position as warlord.
Yep. Or emperor.
Or emperor. My apologies. And so, if anybody could be an assistant or like a great help to us, Marco would be pretty good.
Marco the damn Phoenix.
Marco the Phoenix would be pretty helpful. He
Uh-huh.
certainly doesn't like Blackbeard, and we don't like Blackbeard. And Blackbeard helped save Luffy's life, and Marco helped in that too. So
Mhm.
like, he was friends with Ace. He was friends with Jinbei.
Yep.
I want to tell him thanks. Let's go find him.
Luffy wants to be on all the teams.
Luffy wants to be friends with everybody.
Maybe that's his dream.
And then Luffy's like, all right, I'm heading out by myself. Let's go. But before we go, let's have a feast.
Let's have another feast.
And Nami's like, you have had like 3 feasts today. Stop. We're done.
No
Do
longer
you want to
feast
be?
time.
If we eat right now, do you want to be too late to save Sanji? And so Nami's like, look, I'm going with you. I feel responsible. Plus, how are you going to get there without your navigator?
Yep.
And Chopper's like, well, Peckham's is injured, so you need your doctor, right?
Right. Yeah, of course.
And then, even though Nami doesn't agree, Brooke says, who's going to play you music when you're feeling down?
And it's very clear that all of them are just like, we just feel bad.
Yeah, we feel bad. Also,
we
I like
couldn't-
that
we couldn't save Sanji.
I like that Brooke says, stop leaving me out of things. So, we're bringing these guys along.
Mm-hmm.
And then Robin says, hey, if you find the poneglyph, like, bring me a copy.
Yeah, right.
Like, give me like
Hey,
a
just in
photocopy.
Hey, just in case you guys, just in case if you come across the poneglyph, snap a quick pic.
And then Zunisha gets attacked, and Momo and Luffy can hear him
Uh-huh.
calling out loudly to give him the order.
Give me the order.
Give me the order. And then Luffy says, I can only hear it. I can't talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Momo, you gotta tell him to do it.
You have to give the order.
You have to give him the order to fight. Momo, you say it. Your voice will reach. And so don't give up. Drive Jack away. Understood.
And then the fucking
And
giant elephant.
the giant elephant that has lived for a millennia, wipes out Jack's entire fleet in one swing.
Yup.
And it's gone into the sea. Hey, what the fuck?
Hey, what was that about?
So
What?
I'm just gonna get into theory talk. Can I just actually? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, do we want to do this last chapter too, or should I
Let's just do the last bit, and then we can get into all the
Okay,
theories.
let's finish out the plot, and then I'm gonna get into my theory talk about what's going on with the elephant.
Uh-huh.
So Chopper doctors up the elephant, which I think is so cute.
Yep.
I like that he's got like a scaffolding squad bandaging the elephant. Very cool.
Yeah.
And the rest of the minks are like, you can trust us, Chopper. We just needed your help to get him situated. We can clean the wound and everything from here.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool. And then we learn what the different crews are. We've got a crew going to Wano. We've got a crew going, staying on Zou for the time being. A crew going to find Marco, and then a crew heading to Whole Cake Island.
Yep.
Which is fun.
It's great. Peckham's his house broke.
Peckham's got obliterated. And then we learn that Pedro is going with them. Nami gets her new weapon, which was designed by Usopp, which I think is fun.
Which I love. I love that.
And so our crew has assembled. Luffy, Chopper, Nami, Brook, Pedro, and nobody else. Smile.
And no one else.
Nobody else is going to
No
sneak
rabbits.
onto the boat. No dirty rabbits are going to sneak onto the boat. And so Luffy then jumps off the elephant because he's a psycho.
I wish we saw how this is how they landed. They just cut to it.
And just like
Everyone just be like,
the
"Oh
despair on
God,
everybody's face.
Brooke's
Brooks'
soul leaves
soul
his
leaving
body."
his body. And I love
And
that none of the
see it in
people, I love
Wano.
that none of the group on the top of the elephant are worried about Luffy. And he says,
No.
"See ya in Wano." So they fall. And then, as they're falling, we cut to some other places across the Grand Line,
Yup.
such as Alabasta. Baby and Vivi and Karu and everybody else are here,
Yup.
being escorted by Marine Rear Admiral Hina
Mhm.
to the
And
Reverie.
Vivi looks so happy to be
Vivi
back on
is
a ship.
so happy to be back on
Ah,
the
it makes
ocean
me so
because
happy.
she is a goddamn pirate, mother.
Yes, she is.
She's a pirate. She's meant for the sea,
Mhm.
and it's so nice to have her back. Cobra seems to not be doing well.
Yeah, he seems to be,
Um,
aging and in a wheelchair.
but after hearing Robin talk about her dream and the poneglyphs, Cobra says, "I need to go to the Reverie because I wish to
Mhm.
learn what it was the Nefertari kings of the past did to the world."
Hmm.
And Vivi's coming along too because she probably
Hmm.
needs to know as well. And I think
Yeah.
if anybody's going to relay that information to the crew, it should be one of their own, right?
Right, of course.
Karu.
Member
I'm talking about
555.
Karu specifically.
Kato, of course.
Karu. I love Karu. I love that he's coming along.
Leader of the Hypersonic Duck Squadron.
Squadron, who is a guest at the Reverie.
Yeah.
Then we cut to Shithead. Um,
This fucker.
this fucker. I suppose this is my own fault. I did say I wanted
You
to see
did
him
say
again.
you wanted to see Stelly
I
again.
wanted to see Stelly because I want to see Sabo kick his
Kick his
ass.
ass.
And I'm convinced that it will happen. Um, I like that he's an asshole. I like that he appears to be the king of Goa now.
Yep.
Um, just a real asshole. It's nice
Yep.
to see him again so that we can see him get his shit kicked in later.
We see a bunch of different just snapshots of different kings and queens and
Different
people who
kings and
are.
queens and people we've never met.
Mhm.
Um, all of the most powerful figures in the world coming together for one big meeting,
Mhm.
including the people
We get
from
we get to see the Kano country,
from Kano Country,
Sai
who from
and
Sai and
Sai and
Chinjiao, who we met
yep,
in Dressrosa,
and presumably
Wapple,
baby 5.
Baby 5, Wapple, who has returned to the story.
Yay, Wapple's back.
Wapple's back. I just think I don't know. I don't mind Wapple.
I hate this
I
fucker.
like Wapple because he's a great guy to see lose.
This is true.
I like that his plan is to go to the Reverie and make hell for the Cherry Blossom Kingdom. I think that's funny.
He's just a hater.
Um, I like that Dr. Doctorine wants to go on the trip.
Mhm.
Viola and Rebecca are going,
Yep.
and
And
Shirahoshi
Shirahoshi's
and the rest
coming.
of them. She doesn't want to go because she's scared, and because she doesn't want to go because Luffy said that he was going to take her to the surface and take her on a walk.
Mhm.
So she can't go
Oh
yet. And he's
man.
like, well, it's fine. They're all like trying to reassure her. It's like, it's okay. You can still keep your promise to Luffy. We're just going to the Reverie. You don't have to go to the forest yet.
Right.
You know, you can save that for when Luffy comes back. And if you don't go, then it makes it look like we're still scared.
Yeah, it looks like
But
makes it look
this
like we don't
time,
trust
we
the
don't trust the
people,
humans,
which we shouldn't, and we
which we
don't. But
shouldn't. And we shouldn't trust the Celestial Dragons. But we have to go up and show them that we want to make peace with the humans.
mhm.
Because that was Otohime's dream.
Yep.
And then we cut back to the
Beautiful.
rest of the crew who are in dire straits.
Because Luffy jumped them off of a
Jumped
giant
off of the
fucking elephant.
cliff. Luffy is fine completely. The rest of the crew is not fine completely. Except for our newest crew member,
A
Carrot,
stowaway.
the Mink Musketeer, our stowaway.
Oh, I love Carrot.
I love Carrot. I love that her dress says rabbit. Because of course it does.
Yeah.
Um, I decided to tag along. I just think
Yeah.
she's so silly. I'm excited
Yeah.
to see more of her. I like that she brought carrots and
He
carrot
brought
juice
carrots
and
and carrots and
carrots and
carrots
more carrots. I like
and
that
extra clothes.
Luffy starts eating her carrots and she's not happy about it.
She's like, well, who the fuck says you could eat my
My
carrot?
carrots. I like that
Uh,
she's like, it seems to me like all she's ever wanted is to go on a journey on the sea.
yeah. She
It's
seems
part
to,
of what's
have this
it's part of
sort
what
of
pulls me
adventurous
towards wanting
spirit.
her to join the crew is this moment of like, a lot of the
Hmm.
people we've had join the crew, they are people who are drawn to the sea. You think Usopp,
Yeah.
you think Frankie, for
Hmm.
example, of these people where it's like all like with the Frankie family, it's like all this guy wants to do is get on his own boat and sail the whole world.
Hmm.
So I get a similar vibe from Carrot in that sense.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see more of her because she seems like she's important. She seems
Hmm.
very capable. She's got hops.
Yeah, she does. The Lakers need
Sh-
her.
She's a good fighter, as according to Pedro. Um, and then we learn that Baltigo has been brought to ruin
Hmm.
thanks to Blackbeard. Also, I want to point out on this moment that it mentions, I forget where it mentions, but it mentions that Blackbeard got there first because the location of the Army's HQ was revealed.
Yeah.
And then the Marines and CP0 arrived after.
Uh-huh.
How did that happen?
Well, we know that fucking Burgess.
Yeah, but why would anybody other than the Blackbeard pirates know?
Oh, how it got leaked?
Yeah, how did it get out to the
Oh,
Marines and to CP0? Presumably CP0. I guess it just says Cypher Pole.
probably, yeah, probably CP0
I
then.
would assume
I don't
CP0 since they were looking for stuff from the Revolutionaries.
I don't
I
know.
just think it's interesting that it got out from Burgess. Did Blackbeard intend for the government to know? Was the government watching Blackbeard maybe? But if
Mm-hmm.
so, I feel like it wouldn't be worded like they got there too late and Blackbeard had already leveled the settlement to the ground.
Right.
Um, and why does Blackbeard want to take out the revolutionaries? I guess he wants. They got a lot of weapons. He needs a
Yeah.
lot of weapons.
I mean he wanted the flame fruit.
And Blackbeard clashed with Cypherpole briefly before fleeing, which seems surprising to me because I feel like Blackbeard is one not the. I mean, it makes sense that he would flee, but not the kind of guy that would want to clash with Cypherpole. And also, I don't feel like the Cypherpole we knew were not the kind of people who could clash with Blackbeard. I mean,
I mean, maybe
Lucci's no.
CP0 is crazier than we think.
I would assume so. Lucci's
Been
no
been two
slouch, but
years.
like the leopard fruit is not quite capable of matching to the dark dart and quake fruit. I don't think.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting that Cypherpole is mentioned. Um, and really the crew is just struggling at sea, especially without their chef to make them food.
Yup.
And then we learn that Kaido, who is a very strange guy,
Yeah.
he gets all emotional. He's like a sad drunk and then an angry drunk. He's all emotional about losing um, his source of
Is
smile fruits because now he
Mhm.
can't make a crew entirely out of devil fruit users.
Mhm.
And so he's like, hey, you could go warn those idiots. Tell them run
Kid.
while you can, Eustace Captain Kid. So I'm guessing
A
this is where
kid
the
looks fucked up.
kid looks like he got really fucked up. I'm guessing this is where the useless Captain Mid thing comes from. Is from this. We were playing at Pirate, which is a fun thing to say as we cut to the crew struggling to accomplish anything without
Mhm.
parts of their crew around, like
Right.
Sanji,
Like a cook.
like a cook. And then we cut to Sanji, who we have not seen in a while, in the present anyway.
Yeah.
Um, and they're arriving on Whole Cake Island,
Uh-huh.
and Sanji's like, "It's fine. Look, me and my father have been through for ages." Seems to be not a fan of his father.
Mhm.
Thought he was completely separated from that it would never come up, and that he didn't even need to tell the crew about it because it wasn't important.
Right.
So I'm just gonna clear everything up, and then we're gonna be done.
And then I'll go back.
The only use for these hands of mine is to cook food for my companions, nothing else.
Mhm.
Which makes me think that his father wants him to use those hands to kill, presumably.
I mean, they are a family of killers.
They are a family of killers. And then he learns about Charlotte Pudding,
Yep.
and after all this time, Sanji breaks out of his like angry glare mode and is like, "Women, holy
Woman.
shit!" And that's the end of Zoe.
Yep. That's the end of what we're gonna be talking about. I mean, we still got talk,
I
but
got talk stuff to talk.
yeah, but yeah, I think that was good. I want to.
Yeah. Sort of.
There's a lot to theorize and a lot to talk about.
So
So
I guess I'm just gonna start with the big one. Can I just start with the big one,
of course
or
you can
should
start with
I,
the big one.
should I do the small ones first?
You
Should I
can
start with
start
the
with
big
the
one?
big one.
Let's start with the big one. So I want to talk about the Void Century, Joy Boy, and the weapons.
Okay,
Uh, because I've been
that's a
doing
big
some
one.
I've been doing some thinking. So I will admit that when I was reading this, I was a big dumb stupid idiot. And I was not putting two and two together that what Momo was doing is the same thing that Shirahoshi did.
Yeah, at
In
least
my
I mean that's what
defense,
that was at least my first initial read of
I
this.
agree with you 100%. I just like did not in any way think of that. My brain was like, "Oh, well Luffy has Conqueror's Haki and that's different from the rest of his crew, so maybe he has Conqueror's Haki and that's why they can hear the elephant." And I suppose it is possible that they have
It could
Conqueror's
be
Haki and that's why they can control the animals regardless,
maybe.
but more so that I've been doing some thinking about what the weapons could be, who made them, why they exist, and who can use them,
Hmm.
which is a lot of things.
Yeah.
Previously, I had stated that I believe that the weapons are made of three parts. There is a
Hmm.
person, there is some sort of animal or creature or group of animals, and there is a ship or some vessel.
Of some yeah.
I still am of that belief that that is the case. I believe that
Right.
the Poseidon is a combination of Shirahoshi, the Sea Kings, and the Noah.
Hmm.
And then now we have Momo, who can control Zunisha as the animal, and he would be the other piece, and there would need to be some sort of ship. I am not sure of whether or not I think he is the Uranus or the Pluton. I am leaning
Yeah.
the Uranus because I am still under the theory that the Pluton ship is the Thousand Sunny,
Hmm.
and so that Luffy would need
Well,
to be.
I would also say that Zunisha could also be sort of classified as a vessel.
I guess I think it's literally a boat is more so like
It's straight up a boat.
I think that there needs to be a boat. I don't know what the boats
Okay.
do, but I think that they're important.
Okay.
Because I think that the fact that the Pluton had a blueprint of some
Hmm.
kind to me says that there is a Noah that I presume to be part of the Poseidon. My
Hmm.
assumption is that there is some literal vessel and not just like a big elephant that could also be considered a vessel. Unless
Yeah.
of course you're saying that I think there's maybe an argument, I don't particularly think this is the case, that Zunisha is the vessel and not the animal.
Yeah.
But I
No,
think
I
that
would say
Zunisha is
yeah.
the
It's
creature that is
definitely
being
a
commanded.
creature.
And so then I come to the idea of like, well, how do these people exist? Like, how do these people that can control them come to be?
Hmm.
And so with the learning that the Kozuki clan created the poneglyphs,
Hmm.
and that the poneglyphs have stuff to do with the weapons, and that there is a message from one of the poneglyphs that is from Joy Boy to the
Previous
far
Poseidon.
flash Poseidon princess,
Hmm.
that I am under the, this is my theory, here we go. I think that since there are three weapons, I think there were three people. There was
Hmm.
Joy Boy, the past Poseidon, some princess from Fishman Island,
Hmm.
and whoever the progenitor and originator of the Kozuki clan is,
Mm.
are the three. And I
Yeah.
think that somehow either they used the weapons in the past, and that's part of why there is a Void Century,
Hmm.
or they developed the weapons to be used by their descendants at the end of the Void Century to stop the Celestial Dragons in the distant future.
Hmm.
And so through their bloodlines are people who have the potential to do that. And it's not
Interesting.
everyone, because we know that Shirahoshi's brothers can't do it, and that
Hmm.
her mother couldn't hear the Sea Kings, could she?
No, not that
Okay.
we know of at least.
So I am under the assumption that there's three bloodlines, and you might be wondering which about Joy Boy. We'll get to that.
Uh,
I think one of them is the royal family from Fishman Island. One of them is the Kozuki clan. And so people in those families that have the potential all have the ability to, as I believe it's Roger had the ability to hear all things,
Hear the voice of all
hear the
things.
voice of all things. I think all the people that have the potential can do that, but they can only control the one tied to their family.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the third family, the one tied to Joy Boy, is the D.
Ooh.
That's my guess. And so I'm thinking that there is a D who has the ability, in this case Monkey D. Luffy, although I think there might be one more person on the sea who has that potential at the moment. I'll get to that in a second. I
Mhm,
think there is a Kozuki clan member who was Kozuki Oden and now Kozuki Momo.
mhm.
And then there is a fishman, in this case Shirahoshi.
Yep.
And they each need an animal, a ship, and themselves.
Uh-huh.
Shirahoshi has the Sea Kings and the Noah. Presumably Momo needs some sort of ship. Maybe it comes from Wano. Maybe there's some sort
Maybe.
of big ship, important ship in Wano. I am presuming that the Pluton ship is the Sunny, and that Luffy
Mhm,
is the commander, and then Luffy needs some animal. I don't know what the animal would be.
mhm.
However, I think that there is a chance that Blackbeard also has the potential
Ooh, because he's a D.
because he's a D, and we know that not every D. This is the other reason why I think, similar to the Shirahoshi thing, I don't think every D does because Law couldn't hear it.
Right.
So Law doesn't have that potential to hear all things, and I think you need to be able to
Mhm.
hear all things to be able to control one of the guys. And I think that
Right.
maybe part of the conflict will be that we need to make sure that Blackbeard is not the one in control of the Pluton because he's the one he can
Mhm.
also speak with the animal.
Right.
Um, and so
Interesting
I think that
theory.
part of the reason I'm thinking, this is my guess, part of the reason why Goldie Roger could not achieve his dream and finish the goal of whatever the goal is, whatever our end goal is, whatever Luffy's dream happens to be,
Mhm.
is because there was not all three. He had
Right.
himself, or that maybe he could, because of his terminal illness, he could not live long enough for there to be all three. Because
Mhm.
Shirahoshi was not born yet,
Right.
and Momo was not born yet. Although Kozuki Oden could hear it, I don't know. Maybe there is a chance there's people who can hear it but can't control it. Maybe you need
Mhm.
both powers. I don't know how it
Yeah,
works
because we
exactly.
know because we do know that Roger could hear the Sea
Could
Kings.
hear the Sea Kings. I'm guessing that they can all hear all of them because Luffy can hear the Sea Kings and he can hear the elephant. I'm guessing that if Shirahoshi was at Zou, she would be able to hear the elephant. Is my guess.
Mhm.
Or if Momo was
Interesting.
in the in Fishman Island, he'd be able
Yeah,
to hear the Sea Kings.
the Sea King. Yeah.
But you can only control the one tied to your bloodline, whatever that
Mhm.
is. Um, and so I think that Roger was not able to. Part of the reason why Roger was not able to complete his goal is because he was not able to live long enough to gather all three people.
Interesting.
That's my theory. So
I fucking love that.
I think Joy Boy is a D, and that
Mhm.
his descendants, the D clan, have connections to, I'm guessing, the Pluton.
Ooh.
But it could be the Uranus. But I just feel like it makes more sense for the Sunny to maybe be the Pluton ship.
Right. Yeah.
Um, which then begs the question: how would Blackbeard able to do without a ship? Maybe Blackbeard has his own version of the Pluton ship. I don't know. I haven't thought
Maybe.
that far ahead. So that's my
I
main
mean,
theory.
The Pluton is the only ship that we know that had straight up blueprints.
Blueprints to a ship. So I don't know if
Right.
it's like that, how specific the ship needs to be,
Right.
or what all it needs to do. But I think that
Mhm.
Joy Boy is a D. I think that the poneglyphs were created to, in part, give that information
Mhm.
and bring the people together, bring their descendants together in the distant future to take down whoever the threat was in the Void Century.
Hell yeah.
That's
I
my
love that
that's
theory.
my that's my running theory at the moment.
He he cooked.
That was what I pieced together in my time after finishing Zell.
Mhm.
And then we get to Sanji.
Oh yeah,
Sanji,
my
Sanji, Sanji,
boy.
Sanji, Sanji. I
Like
don't know what to think about Sanji.
if anyone is not a fan of Sanji, uh,
Hey, that's me.
then get ready for next week.
I'm so excited. Believe you me.
I am gonna be talking Sanji shit all fucking week.
I hope so. Means I don't have to talk about him.
Fuck you.
um, I've been doing some thinking about Sanji. I've been trying to think about what is it that we know about Sanji. And so
Mhm.
my thoughts are I don't think that Oda would come up with a new backstory for Sanji out of nowhere, in
Mhm.
the sense that I think whatever is about to be revealed about Sanji, he had in mind when he introduced Sanji back in the Baratie.
Uh huh.
I think whatever important piece of his backstory is there was originally planned way back then and has been pushed back all this time to now.
Right.
Because somehow it
Because
wasn't relevant. Because the story continues
because
to get infinitely longer, right?
what we know about Sanji's backstory all we know about Sanji's backstory is what happened with Zeph.
Yeah, all we know about that is
We,
with Zeph.
we know that he was on a ship making food as a kid. That ship went down and he met Zeph, and then made the
Yeah.
Baratie with Zeph.
So I'm guessing whatever else was part of Sanji's backstory was in mind back then, and Sanji was written with that in mind at the time.
Yeah.
So I did a little bit of rereading of the Baratie,
Uh huh.
and I specifically want to point out a panel from, I believe I don't know what chapter it is, but I think it's titled like Sanji appears.
Mhm.
It's the first time Sanji shows up. It's the first time we see Sanji.
Is the scene where
He is
the
full
he
body
beats the shit out
is
of full
he beats
body?
the shit out of full body for wasting food, and he grabs full body by the. It's just a different. The way that Sanji is presented here feels very different from the way that Sanji's been presented for a while. Is more so what I'm getting at. In that Sanji in this moment feels like a killer, if that makes any sense. His eyes are shrouded in black. He has a much more menacing look than we're used to seeing from Sanji. He's grabbing him by the face with his hands,
Yeah.
which is unusual also. Not that Sanji's never touching people with his hands, but he usually doesn't beat the shit out of somebody and then grab their head with his hand and then get the blood over his hands. That would get in the food.
Right.
So I don't know. My guess is that originally Oda was drawing Sanji more aggressively and more as like a killer kind of guy to then reveal that was his true backstory.
Right.
And so I think that I don't know. That's really my main thoughts is there's something
That's
something dark in something really dark in Sanji's past that would have made him act like this, and that Luffy has softened him over time.
Yeah.
And that Luffy is going to need to bring him out of that darkness again. After he already did it once way back in the Baratie. Is my guess there.
Right.
I wish I had more about Sanji, but I really just don't. I don't know. A lot of it's sort of a mystery. It feels really the biggest thing is that he just seems so much more aggressive in the East Blue. Back when Oda was planning for this story to end like around the end of Alabasta or some shit.
Yeah.
Which makes me think that things have obviously been shifted around a lot. I also have a note about where Sanji's love of food and love of women originates from. And I think it's going to tie into whatever the hell happened in his past with the Vinsmoke family.
Right.
I think maybe there will be, I don't know, some woman who saved him from that hell. Almost like a JJK situation with Todo. Kind of thing where it's like now he goes around and does like the what kind of woman's your type thing. That but with Sanji as like that's why he's obsessed with women now. Is some woman saved his life and so he wants to care for women in turn. And then I don't know. And then but then where does the chef thing come in? Because that was a thing before he met Zeph. It's very curious. I don't know. I'm guessing that the food thing and the woman thing originate from the same place. That's my theory. That's my guess.
Interesting.
Let's see. What else do I have written down?
You have something called "What's Up with the Minx"? Was that what you meant by like the moon stuff?
Probably. Yeah,
Okay.
I would say it was the moon stuff. Why do they have lightning powers? That seems a little odd. I mean, maybe they're just like that, but maybe there's an explanation to it.
They just do.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I was thinking maybe it had something to do with whatever's going on with the full moon. Maybe they're like lightning werewolves or something.
I mean, we do know that there's a lightning man on the moon.
That is true, I suppose. Excuse me, he's a rumble man.
Shut the fuck up.
I have a note about Law.
Oh yeah.
Because do I know what Law's dream is?
We I don't
That
exactly
answer is no.
know.
That means no.
I don't exactly know.
That means no. The answer is no. I do not know what Law's dream is, and I think that is strange.
It seems like Law's goal was kind of just to take out Doflamingo.
Law's goal was to take out Doflamingo and avenge Corazon. But what is his But why would he want to take out Kaido?
Well, he just wanted he
Well,
wanted Kaido
yes,
and Doflamingo to be at odds.
yes. I mean, maybe he wanted to take out Kaido so that he could get Luffy on his side to take out Doflamingo.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. It's just hard to. But like, if that was Law's only goal, I mean, I guess Law is the kind of person who follows through. But like,
Hmm.
what's stopping Law from being like, all right, Dofi's out, I'm done. I don't need to be a pirate anymore. Like, who cares about Kaido? Not my problem
I mean,
anymore.
maybe he's just like maybe now he has true freedom and is
He has true
just like
freedom. I don't
figuring
know.
it
I
out.
think that Law, at least at the moment, seems to be lacking a goal, lacking a dream, and I'd like to see what it is. I don't necessarily have a theory for what it could be.
Hmm.
Um, Perhaps there is something that Korra was never able to accomplish that Law knows about that he wants to accomplish on Korra's behalf. I don't know,
Maybe.
but I think it's interesting that Law is allied with someone like Monkey D. Luffy, and yet does not seem to have a dream that he cares
A
so
dream.
deeply about.
Yeah.
Um, I would like to see Jinbei show up
Yeah.
because Big Mom has a stranglehold on Fishman Island.
Hmm.
Jinbei could not
And
join the crew
Jinbei seems to
immediately
be some way
because
aligned with Big
somewhere
Mom.
he could not immediately join the crew because he has some sort of connection to Big Mom. I would like to see Jinbei maybe join the crew after we defeat Big Mom,
Hmm.
so that we have a.
Do you think Jinbei's gonna be in Fishman Island?
He was in Fishman Island. We
I
did that
mean,
arc already.
sorry, Whole Cake.
I would like to see Jinbei in Whole Cake. I don't know if he's
Yeah.
going to show up, but I would like to see him.
Yeah.
Regardless, I think that after we defeat Big Mom, there should be nothing stopping Jinbei from joining the crew. So I think he should
Hmm.
be able to join us for Wano. Is my guess.
Right. Yeah.
Is that I think once Big Mom is out of the picture, because I guess I'm under the assumption that Luffy is going to defeat Big Mom in the next arc.
Yeah.
Which I suppose is not entirely guaranteed. It could
No,
be that
it,
he
it's not a
clashes and then
guarantee.
it's not a guarantee because their goal is to take out Kaido. His goal is to get Sanji back, not to fight Big Mom. So
Yeah.
it's possible that he could leave without
Hey,
beating Big Mom.
maybe Luffy is really quiet and they just don't even interact with Big Mom.
It's possible he could leave without beating Big Mom. I guess I'm predicting that he's gonna fight Big Mom and eventually win somehow.
Yeah.
But I feel like taking out Big Mom should remove any obstacles from Jinbei joining the crew. Uh, and so I would like to see Jinbei join the crew once Big Mom is defeated, and have
Hmm.
him help us in Wano.
Um.
Let's see. What are some other predictions for I think it's gonna happen in Whole Cake? I don't know. I'm excited to meet the Vinsmoke family and
Hmm.
Sanji's people and the rest of
Yeah.
the Charlotte family because
Yeah.
there's a 35th daughter. That's a lot of fucking kids, bro.
Look, she's a big
She's
mom,
a big mom. Clearly, she keeps having kids for political marriages.
right?
Um,
Um.
I don't
I
know. I'm
mean,
interested to see how. I'm really interested specifically in Nami and Brooke.
yeah, how they're gonna play into this
How they're
arc.
going to play into it, which is unusual for me. You'd expect me to say Chopper, but Chopper's gotten a lot to do in the New World so far. I've been very happy with Chopper
Hmm.
um, so far. So I'm willing to let Chopper play a little bit of a backseat, play healer for the rest of the crew, while
Hmm.
Nami and Brooke, who I think more than anybody have had the least screen time in the New World so far,
Right.
get to play ball a little bit.
Hmm.
And I'm really interested because I feel like I don't know, Nami is could be sort of an anchor for Sanji in this arc.
Yeah. I
Sort
mean,
of like a
we do know that Nami is Sanji's number one girl.
number one girl,
Like,
and like
if
if
like I mean, it's fucking said
it's
back in like
yeah,
um.
and like
Wait,
maybe
am I?
he
What am I?
needs someone like Nami to call him back to the crew
Hmm.
or to snap him out of whatever funk he's
Whatever.
gonna get into.
Hmm.
I'm interested to see what Brooke has to do because
Yeah.
Brooke's
I
so
think it's also
interesting to me.
I think it's also interesting that like obviously this isn't like their their goal here is not defeat
Beat
Big
Big
Mom.
Mom, yeah.
So like they're not bringing
They're not
their
bringing their
heavy
heavy
hitters.
hitters.
Zoro's not coming.
They're bringing two members of the Weakling trio and Brooke.
Yeah.
And I mean Brooks, these guys are strong now, but they're not
Yeah, I mean
Zoro
obviously.
strong.
Yeah, they're not Zoro, they're not Robin, they're not Frankie.
They're not Sanji strong.
Right. Well,
They're
Sanji's
not
gonna be there.
yeah,
Don't
Sanji's gonna
worry.
be there. I don't know. I mean, is are they all that much weaker than Robin? Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean,
Chopper seems pretty strong these days. I don't know, bro. Last we saw Chopper, he was kicking some ass. Okay.
he is. Yeah.
Um, and we don't really know what Nami's capable of now with her new weather magic stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Her new climate tech.
and we don't know a lot about what Brook's capable of. We know that he
Yeah.
can manipulate souls and shit, but like, how does that work? I don't know. So I'm excited to see characters that have had less screen time get some screen time.
Hmm.
I'm interested to see how Brook's way of caring for the crew, like the thing. I'm interested. I think that Brook may have a moment where he gets to do something only he can do,
Yeah.
which are the best kind of moments.
Which
Um,
is absolutely.
and like Brook had a moment like that in this arc in Zoe that was very subtle, but I'd like to see a less subtle one for Brook
Hmm.
in this next arc.
I mean,
But I
there's
feel
a
like
lot of things that
it's
will make
possible
Brook
that
do
this arc
good.
could just be more Sanji focused and that Brook and Nami take a bit of a backseat. But
Yeah.
I don't know. An arc being focused on one member of the crew doesn't mean other members of the crew don't get to
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. There's
get to
gonna
have
be
big
moments.
moments too. You know.
Mhm.
So
All right.
do I have
Is there
any? Let me just
is there
check the
any
notes one more
is there
time.
anything else on the list that?
Let's see. Law, Zoro. I talked about my Joy Boy stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's
I
most of
think
what I
that's it.
have for Zoe. I'm excited. I'm curious about what's going on with the Reverie too, because we've got all these people gathering together.
Mhm. I mean, I can tell you, this is like a tiny
Yeah, I mean,
spoiler, but
I know what the
the,
Reverie
re-
is, but like I'm
the Reverie arc takes place after Whole Cake.
okay. I'll get to know more about that then.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very excited for the future of One Piece because there's so much interesting stuff
Hmm.
going on.
We're kind of we're it this feels like
We're in the thick of it.
we have entered the at least the beginning stages of the final
The
stretch.
beginning of the end game.
Right.
There's only 300 chapters to go before I'm current.
Yeah.
The beginning of the end game, smile. The beginning of the end game, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm just so
Yeah.
excited for Whole Cake.
Yeah. I'm excited that you get to read Whole Cake now.
I think that this arc has a lot of interesting threads going on.
Hmm.
Zoe has been very fun to read. And what the hell is going on with everything, you know?
Yeah.
That's the question. So,
Uh-huh. Well, if
um,
that's I think that's gonna be the end.
yeah, I think that's about all we had to talk. We didn't plug again. We were too locked in to plug once
Look,
again.
we plug at the end.
We can
It's
plug at
plug
the
time
end.
now.
It's plug time now.
So
Hey,
hey, audience, if you are watching this and listening to this right now, then you definitely liked the video. So
and
like
you
the
should
video.
definitely like the video.
And if you didn't like it, that's a weird way to spend 2 hours, but
Yeah, it's a well, I mean, hour 45 maybe.
hour 45.
It's weird to get to just watch Zoe and then not like it. I mean, come on.
Right. Like, and so if you didn't like it, like the video.
If you didn't like it, you should like the video so that more people like you can see the video and show that they don't like it.
Exactly. Yeah. And you should leave a comment about how you didn't like the video.
Yeah, to definitely unboost our engagement.
Yeah. And if you did like it, you should
And if you did like it, you
comment on
should
the
follow
video.
the road poneglyphs points to the subscribe button, and you should click
Oh
that button.
shit. Oh shit.
And then
He's
you should
and then
follow
you
them
should hit the
again
bell
and hit the
icon.
bell icon.
Um
Oh, okay.
uh, this plugin shit is
This
hard work.
plugin shit is hard, man. It's
Um
weird. I don't know. I
yeah.
don't plug normally. Anyway,
Yeah.
thank
If
you
you
for
like this
watching.
shit,
If you watched it, you watched it.
really
If you
appreciate
liked
you
it, you should
watching it.
like it.
Um
Thanks for
we're
listening.
gonna we're gonna get out of here.
We're gonna get out of
I'm
here so that
sure
somebody can
Lad is
start
gonna
reading
go
Whole Cake.
read some Whole Cake.
Uh,
All right.
thanks for listening.
Well,
Cheers.
cheers, everyone.